My name is Cognate. I'm the founder and CEO of Cognii. At Cognii, we are bringing the power of artificial intelligence technology to the education and training industry. If you have noticed this year, there are many sessions that are focusing on AI, which is a great validation of the vision that we started pursuing a few years ago. So before I explain what is Cognii, I would like to take a moment to explain the pedagogy behind Cognii. What we consider as a conversational pedagogy is the most original, most impactful, and most natural pedagogy that is known to humanity. Knowledge is always passed from one person to the other through the conversation modality. Unfortunately, many edtech products do not incorporate this conversation as the core pedagogy because of several reasons. But why is it important? Well, we know that the ideal form of education takes place when it is personalized, individualized, adaptive, and engaging. And that generally takes place in a one-to-one environment between an expert teacher and a student. But reality is that you are in a classroom or in a large lecture hall or even in a MOOC, where it's very difficult to offer that one-to-one instruction. So if you want to offer one-to-one conversational instruction, what are the core components of this pedagogy? Well, there are mainly two ones. First of all is the one-to-one tutoring. There are many cognitive science research that suggests that students who receive instruction in a one-to-one environment perform 2 standard deviations better than students who study in a classroom kind of setting. The second component of the conversational pedagogy is open response questions. It allows us to measure students' ability to actively recall knowledge and think critically, which are very important in 21st century kind of job market. But these are also very expensive if we just rely on the human to support. For example, if you have a classroom of 30 students and you ask 3 questions per day and students write 1 answer for each of these questions, then at the end of the week, a teacher would have spent half of her time on just grading those answers. And the cost of tutoring is even more. So as a result, we generally see a degradation in the quality of the assessment and the instruction as the scale increases. At Cognii, our goal is to improve the quality irrespective of the scale of education, as well as reduce the cost from dollars to cents, save teachers time from minutes to seconds, and improve the learning outcomes from 0.1 standard deviation to 1.0 standard deviation. So how exactly we are doing that? Well, we leverage a technology called conversational technology that processes the natural language of the human input automatically. And many of such products that people are already familiar with, like Siri or Google Assistant or Cortana or Alexa or Samsung S Voice, which is the technology that we developed in our previous company. However, these virtual assistants are general purpose. They are not optimized for education. So we developed Cognii, which is an interactive virtual assistant just for educational interactions. So basically, we are combining the most original pedagogy with the most original or most modern technology to create what we call as conversational edtech. So what is Cognii? It's a virtual learning assistant that focuses on improving students' learning outcomes through personalized tutoring, automatic grading of open response answers, and generating rich learning analytics. So compared to Siri, where user asks a question and Siri comes back with an answer, in case of a Cognii would ask a question, student has to answer that question, and then Cognii would evaluate and provide a feedback. Here is a perfect example. In today's San Diego weather, a student is trying to learn how sea breeze is created. And so as she is trying to learn about it, if there's any difficulty, Cognii will dive deeper and engage to clarify any misunderstanding and help her learn this topic. So behind the scene, we use technologies like NLP, cognitive computing, to process the input generated by the students for syntactic, semantic, and conceptual analysis to generate this new type of personalized and adaptivity. We have validated this technology for efficacy and accuracy. Our product is 96% close to human in terms of scoring open response answers. In addition to grading, we also generate analytics that can pinpoint to a teacher what specific concepts a student is having difficulty with, or which groups of students are learning better, and which groups of students are struggling, so that they can personalize the counseling or remediation. Cognii is very flexible and powerful. We work across the spectrum, not just one subject, but many subject areas like language learning, social sciences, and from K through 12 all the way up to corporate training. We partner with schools, colleges, corporations, as well as content publishers. Some of the examples are California State Universities, as well as a number of other organizations. So when we work with our partners, basically, we take their content in a particular specification format without having to give us tons of answers to grade, and then we customize Cognii experience for better learning outcomes. We offer different types of integration, whether it is Cognii hosted or through an LTI or through an API. Here's a case study that we did with UMass Boston recently to implement Cognii for Introduction to Biology course, where there were more than 600 students. We saved the faculty members time as well as money, and most importantly, students found that Cognii helped them improve their answer and understanding of these topics. Many students told us that it is really helpful, and some of them said that I learned a lot with these questions of Cognii than I did in the classroom. Similarly, professors have also told us that it saves them significant amount of time, which is very important if they want to implement high-quality pedagogy. So in a nutshell, we want to bring the power of AI to all the stakeholders in the education ecosystem. We want to improve students' learning outcomes. For the teachers, we want to give them productivity boosts, and for the organizations, we want to allow them to scale high-quality pedagogy. And the opportunity is immense. We expect that there would be probably around 2 trillion open response answers that could be generated every year globally. And many organizations are recognizing that AI will play a key role as going forward, and they do consider that Cognii is one of the leading vendors in this market. So I would like to emphasize that conversation is not only at the core of Cognii, it's also present in Cognii's logo. So that's Cognii. Thank you, everybody.